Welcome to the Health and Healing from the Inside Out podcast with Stephanie A. Wynn, an online health and wellness podcast where I, your host, will provide weekly wellness tips about inflammatory bowel disease, specifically Crohn's and ulcerative colitis. The Health and Healing from the Inside Out podcast is a mixture of special guest interviews from healthcare professionals, IBD survivors, Crohn's survivors, ulcerative colitis survivors, and community thought leaders. Be sure to select the subscribe button and let's start the health and healing process from the inside out. Welcome to the Health and Healing from the Inside Out podcast. I am your host, Stephanie A. Wynn, and I am super excited about this podcast. This podcast, we are going to bring you nothing but great tools, tips, experts on the topics of inflammatory bowel disease, specifically ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease. I am a recipient of inflammatory bowel disease. I was diagnosed 4 years ago with ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease. It has been a journey, to say the least, anywhere from, being laid off of my corporate job all the way until having the financial disparities of affording health care for my treatment plan. And so my goal here at the Health and Healing from the Inside Out podcast is to truly help my IBD community, to help them get the tools and the resources that they need to live a sustainable life. Sometimes when we get these chronic diagnoses or chronic illnesses, we don't know how to navigate the healthcare system. And so that creates, frustration. But my goal is to remove the healthcare barriers, specifically the healthcare and financial disparities in the African American community, specifically those who are diagnosed with inflammatory bowel disease. A little bit about me. Like I said, I was diagnosed with this chronic condition 4 years ago, and I could not walk. I couldn't drive. I stopped eating. I lost a lot of weight. And it didn't look well for me. It did not look good for me. I was going downhill really fast. And so it took some time for me to find my healthcare team that believed in helping me heal, helping me get better. We still have a ways to go. It's not an overnight process for those who are looking for a quick fix in your diagnosis or in your health. Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis, as I stated, like IBD, for those that don't know, inflammatory bowel disease, it is a serious condition affecting the digestive system. It occurs when the gastrointestinal tract becomes inflamed over an extended period of time. So this condition just doesn't happen like overnight. This is something that it takes time, and inflammation takes time. And so when we are stressed a lot, stress is the number one culprit for flare-ups. When you're in a highly stressful job, maybe your environment is stressful, maybe your household is stressful, maybe you're just living a stressful life, that's the trigger for the flare-ups. And remember, like your digestive system, I want you all to stop right now and Google how important the digestive system is in your body. Like the digestive system is so important. It covers a wide range of other things in your body. Like it is so much to the digestive system that I've learned over the years, that you have to be good to your body. You have to, feed it good things. For your body to perform at an optimal rate of what it should be performing, you have to definitely be good to it. So what you put in is definitely going to come out, and it will show over time. I do believe that it is our duty to make sure that we treat our bodies as temples and make sure that we don't misuse and abuse our bodies so we can live a long, sustainable life. So I just want to let you all know that the Health and Healing from the Inside Out podcast is here to help that person who maybe you've been dealing with inflammatory bowel disease and you don't have an outlet. You don't know what to do. You don't know where to go. You don't know what questions you should be asking at your doctor's appointments. This is the podcast that will give you tips, will give you strategies on how to navigate through the healthcare system. I'm not a medical doctor by trade. I'm not a nurse by trade. I am a recipient of inflammatory bowel disease. And I do know that with navigating through this healthcare system and experiencing some of the health and financial disparities, there are ways that you can get help. There's help out here. It's just you have to know what to ask for. You have to speak up. One thing I will tell you about navigating through the healthcare system is closed mouths don't get fed. And what do I mean by that, Stephanie? Okay, well, what you have to do is put your pride to the side. Pride comes before destruction. And so what I mean by that is sometimes because you have been so independent, which I was there. I've always worked all of my life. I've always been independent. I've never, asked for help. That's just how my parents raised me, right? But when you're sick and you're not in good health, you need help. And nobody knows that you need help if you don't speak up and say something, right? And so oftentimes some of our family members have passed away because they never spoke up, because they were too prideful. So this podcast is where you can come and get some information. You can write down things that you need to ask your physician so that when you leave the doctor's office, you are more clear on what it is that you need to do to get better. Again, stop looking at it as, oh, I'm so sick. I'm sick. No, you got to change your language. One of the things about health and healing, it starts with your mindset. And let me talk about a mindset. The mindset that you believe that you can be healed, that you believe that if I go see these providers and I get an understanding of my health. See, a lot of times we are operating from a place of the unknown because we don't have the understanding of what the lab results say. We don't have the understanding of what this diagnosis is. So with all of our getting, we got to get understanding, but more importantly, we got to have wisdom. And when you have understanding and wisdom, now you have knowledge, right? But it's one thing to have knowledge, but it's another thing to have applied knowledge. When you have applied knowledge, now you're taking what you understand, you're taking what you've read and researched, you're taking the information that you've gotten from your provider's office, and now you're applying it to your personal life and personal situation. Our goal here is really to help you be better with your health, for you to become whole, mind, body, and spirit. Again, if you are mentally tapped out, if you are physically tapped out, if you are spiritually tapped out, it's time for you to make a change. Like, it's a new year, new opportunities, new ways to look at things. And sometimes we need a little help. You can't do everything by yourself. So I'm just asking those who are following the podcast, if you can please open up your mind to health and healing from the inside out. Most of our healing is going to come from internal. It starts on the inside. What are you feeding your body on the inside? Are you feeding yourself negativity? Are you feeding yourself good nutrients? I used to love gourmet recipes, and I knew that if I continued to eat those rich ingredients, if I kept drinking mimosas, if I was just out of control, that eventually something was going to happen. It got to the point to where I couldn't no longer eat the things that I so love. Sometimes you just got to let things go and just start fresh. As we grow older in our age, your body can't break down certain foods, and it's just facts. It's just, you got to be good to yourself. And so, unfortunately, it was the diagnosis, but, I didn't expect Crohn's and ulcerative. I didn't even expect inflammatory bowel disease. I didn't expect any of that. But guess what? It's what it is. But I don't let it validate who I am. I put one foot in front of the other every day, step by step, minute by minute. And I'm recommending that you do the same. What is going to help you be better and greater? We can't keep doing the same thing expecting new results. at the Health and Healing from the Inside Out podcast. We also are going to be providing you with some great tips with some great guest interviews. So I am your host, Stephanie A. Wynn. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Share this with a friend. If you know someone who has been recently diagnosed with inflammatory bowel disease, Crohn's disease, or ulcerative colitis, share this with them. This can help save them. This can help propel them to the next level. I'm your host, Stephanie A. Wynn. Until next time, peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Health and Healing from the Inside Out podcast, an online health and wellness podcast where I, your host, Stephanie A. Wynn, will provide weekly wellness tips about inflammatory bowel disease, specifically Crohn's and ulcerative colitis. Be sure to select the subscribe button and let's start the health and healing process from the inside out.